What's up, guys? The silver lining in the situation that I'm in, and for those of you that don't know, I work in a casino that is currently closed due to what's going on in the world. I'm able to do things on this channel that I've never been able to do before, and that's due to time. So this video is just that. The plan here is to do and go over everything that you expect to see in 3.9. So if you're a current backer that goes to YouTube to get news about what's coming, or if you're a player who's deciding whether or not to purchase Star Citizen and is this the patch that you finally jump in, this is the video for you. And I'm really excited to do that, so I'm really looking forward to your feedback on the subject. So get in there, get in the comments, leave a like, dislike, let me know what you thought on this video. I'm very excited to see it because this is the type of content I really want to make on this channel if I had the time to do it. So jumping right into it, we're going to start out with the actor status system. And this is one of the largest changes to the current game. It's an expansion of the player status system from simply oxygen and stamina and health to a much more robust system that covers temperature and hunger and thirst as well. Starting out with temperature, we can experience hypothermia, which is getting too cold, and on the lower left part of our helmet we should see an amount of time and the temperature to let us know how long we have to get to safety. And we can also wear a cold suit to mitigate some of that. So this is something that we saw at CitizenCon. There's another thing that's coming, and we'll touch on it a bit later, but you can also eat some food to possibly stay warm. And another thing is that there'll be some animations and effects like shivering or putting your hand over your face to block out the wind. There's also other factors like vision issues, I would call them. So if you're experiencing certain things like hypothermia, you may see some issues with your vision to let you know that you're experiencing it. Not just a little icon on the bottom left of your helmet, but other things to trigger that, hey, maybe I should eat, maybe I should have a drink. You can also experience hyperthermia, which is getting too hot. Again, you'll have the same thing in the bottom left of your helmet. To get to a ship or outpost for safety, you can also wear a hot suit, and drinking water or other drinks will help aid in keeping you cool. Again, this will have other unique vision issues that go along with it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there is something that they call weather locomotion, which is based on the weather factor that you're dealing with. It may trigger certain animations on your character. The only one we've seen so far is from CitizenCon 2019, where it was very cold, very windy, and the player was kind of blocking the wind with their hand and leaning into it. There may be other animations that come into 3.9, but those are unknown for right now. We'll touch a little bit more on food and drink. So much to the community's surprise, food and drink are going to play a much more major role in our player status than we thought. After eating and drinking, those effects will start to wear off, and you'll start getting into starvation or dehydration. And these statuses will last a while, so being in starving status or dehydration status will last quite a bit of time to allow us to find some food, find some drink, to kind of resolve that issue. But if you don't resolve it, you will eventually die. And that's the big difference in what we thought was going to happen in the past. We always thought that there was going to be debuffs for not eating and not drinking, and buffs for eating and drinking. That was kind of mentioned for many years now, but the death part, especially in a game that has permadeath, is quite a surprise. And each type of food or drink will have their own separate nutrition or hunger and hydration or thirst values. The more you eat, the longer the buff will last, and that does have a cap, so you can't just eat forever and never have to worry about it. Another more minor update that comes with the actor status system is the player interaction system update, and this is how we interact with all the things around us in the world. It's now this radial menu that's very console-like and is definitely going to take some getting used to for us PC gamers, but it does create a lot of accessibility. So on this menu is literally everything that you can do with your character in Star Citizen. Where we had to go through this big clunky menu before, now we have a smaller but seemingly still a little bit clunky menu where we have to click through a lot to get to where we want to go, but each one of these icons and interactions have the keybind right there for us to see. It's easily swappable from within the menu. You can change all the keybinds you need. There's also favorites. On top of this, this is going to have some changes to the FPS mechanic where you can use this radial menu to swap out weapons. Not only that, but to swap out attachments on your weapon. So it does make things more immersive, more tactile, which is a very Star Citizen thing. I don't think this is an update that's going to bring anybody to Star Citizen and get them super excited for 3.9. The most anticipated and probably most talked about feature that's coming into 3.9 is prisons. They are, up to this point, we've had a system of laws and fines, but there hasn't been true consequence to doing unlawful actions within Star Citizen. So this is the next logical step in the progression for this law system. If you're killed in the vicinity of a bounty hunter, I am assuming if you have a bounty on your head and someone's chasing you, an actual live player, not an NPC, or an NPC security guard, you will wake up in Klesher Automated Prison. You will not have access to your personal inventory, and you will have access to a prison uniform. It is located on Aberdeen, and the uniform is a suit that allows you to work in Klesher's mines below the prison. And it looks to have some storage to be able to hold some hand minables and other things, but you likely won't have much life support capabilities. And this kind of ties in to the economy of the Klesher Automated Prison. Based on your crimes, your sentence length will be assigned. The more severe the sentence, the more severe the crime, the longer your sentence. You will work off your sentence by earning merits, a prison-specific currency. Klesher is a privately owned prison, so you will work for them to mine in the highly dangerous mines, which are hot and have no oxygen, to mine hand minables, and you hand those in to earn merits and work off your sentence. You can purchase these merits as well to buy better tools, as well to be able to work longer in the mines to hopefully be able to shorten your sentence or the sentence of your friends. I think the system is very important to create that risk and reward for unlawful gameplay. So we kind of had the rewards with the more rewarding missions for unlawful players, but there really isn't any risk for them. And this completely takes players out of the normal game loop and brings them into some place where they may not necessarily want to be. So not only is this to prevent players that are treating other players poorly, but it also creates a nice risk-reward system for players interacting in PvE type scenarios. Adding on from what we have in 3.8, we're now going to have full access to Microtech. Starting out with the landing zone, New Babbage, we're going to finally be able to not just fly around it, but we're going to be able to interact with its buildings and go inside its starport. This is going to be the first time that we see high-tech architecture and interiors from CIG. We have seen high-tech elements at ArcCorp, but it is still highly industrialized. So it's going to be really nice to see this clean aesthetic from CIG and see how it plays out and how it looks and how we immerse ourselves in this new landing zone. Not only that, but there's going to be these new and unique and modular outposts building off of what we have on Hurston with the elevators that go down. We have these very unique looking outposts that we saw at CitizenCon 2019. Now, I don't know how much access we're going to have to these in patch 3.9. I don't know if there'll be missions related to them, but in general, it might be nice to go and check them out and see what they have to offer. Hopefully, we have the ability to interact with them. Microtech also has 3 moons, and they will be fully complete and ready to go in 3.9. Calliope, Clio, and Euterpe. I don't know if I'm saying them correctly, but they will kind of look similar but have unique elements to them. I imagine there'll be some cargo hauling and box delivery missions associated with these moons, as well as potentially the addition of some new minables that we are going to talk about when we get to that part of 3.9. There are also mission additions and updates coming in 3.9. There are 3 missions that we know about. A double assassination mission, which requires you to kill 2 NPCs within a very short period of time that are across the system from each other. So it requires the mission to be shared. This is the first mission that absolutely requires it to be shared, to be completed, and I think that's pretty cool. Moving on, there is a prison transport mission that comes from Tisha Pacheco, where there are some criminals that are being brought to, I assume, jail, at the same jail that we'll be going to, and we need to break into that caterpillar that they're on and revive certain people that we have on a list to complete that mission and then get out before we get caught. I think this is pretty cool. It's basically the next iteration of the 890 jump mission. What they learned from that mission, they'll bring to this one. So if you've enjoyed the 890 jump mission, you'll probably enjoy this one. Now, the most anticipated mission is the Idris takedown mission. This is the end of the Miles Eckhard mission chain, so you can only complete this mission one time per wipe, and it's very hard, so you're going to want to share it with your friends and as many people on the server to try and complete it. This is really anticipated because the Idris is one of the major ships and one of the milestone ships in Star Citizen, so to have that in the game is very important, and the fact that it takes so many people to kill does sort of, very loosely, simulate what a major player battle may look and feel like, what it might take to take down a large ship like the Idris. And economy players haven't been ignored in 3.9. If you're into mining, they've added mining consumables, which basically adds bonus variables to your equipped laser to give it unique properties for a short period of time. And these can be stacked. So if you use an Argo Mole with your friends, you can min-max like really in a unique and kind of cool way, using all sorts of different consumables to break the rocks. Now, this is very dependent on it being cool and fun. If Star Citizen does a better job of adding more variation to the variables on the rocks that we actually mine, make them more difficult, some more difficult than others. When you have a helix laser, you can basically break any rock in the game at this point. So hopefully adding consumables will also add some more difficulty to mining and bring that up to a very kind of fun and enjoyable and not so repetitive scale. With that said, they're adding volatile cargo to mining. This should be added to cargo in the future, to cargo hauling in the future, but currently they're going to test out the system with mining and specifically with a certain type of mineral called quantanium. It's what's mined to create quantum fuel, and it's very valuable and also highly volatile. So you have to sell it at a refinery before it explodes, and you can't really bump your ship around too much either. So this is pretty cool, a nice addition to the mining mechanic. And yeah, this is kind of the first step to another addition to the cargo mechanic as well. There's also some ships that are coming in to Star Citizen. On the roadmap, there is the Asperia Prowler, which is likely going to make it into 3.9. Then there is the M50. Now there's M50 improvements that are supposed to be made, but it's still scheduled on the roadmap. So I don't expect this to make it into the initial patch of 3.9, maybe a 0.1 or a 0.2. They also kind of mentioned the Cutlass Blue and have been teasing it a little bit lately. So again, that may make it into a 0.1 or a 0.2 patch later down the line. Lastly, some little miscellaneous things that are going to make it in that you might be interested in. Friends list rework. So if you add somebody to your friends list on Spectrum, they're going to see it in game. If you add somebody in game, they're going to see it on Spectrum and vice versa. It's a much simpler system. There's also going to be a restricted area rework, which we saw a little bit of at CitizenCon 2019. Basically, you can land anywhere around Microtech. I don't know how this is going to apply to the other landing zones, but there's also some mention of if you request landing, there's going to be some nice augmented reality kind of visuals on screen that really bring you in to the landing pad or hangar that you're trying to go to. Basically similar to a lot of sci-fi movies and TV shows that we've seen out there. There's also some AI improvements, so 3D collision avoidance and 3D pathfinding for AI is going to allow AI to fly around in atmosphere on planets. Also, this opens up their ability to fly over standard combat maneuvering speeds, so when you're fighting against certain ships in your PvE missions, you're going to be able to actually chase them and they're going to fly away from you, and it's going to be a more dynamic and fun experience. And not only that, there's also PvE bounty improvements. This is something that is going to allow the NPCs to quantum travel away from you, and basically you'll have to chase them a little bit more than them just hanging around waiting to be killed. There's also something on the roadmap named PvP bounties, but literally nobody knows what it is. So if you're into doing PvP bounties, check out 3.9 and see what improvements they made to it, but it's very vague on the roadmap, and nobody knew what it was on Star Citizen Live. So that is that. Now guys, that's going to do it for this video. A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me in the comments of other videos because of the situation that I'm in, not being able to work, on how you can support me. There is a donation link in every video's description. You just have to scroll down a little bit to find it. I really don't make it too obvious where it is, but a lot of people have been reaching out, so I figured I'd mention it at the end of the video. Or you can go to saltymike.tv. It's the same link basically, and you can feel free to support however you like. A lot of people asked, oh, can I do a channel membership or do a super chat? I'm unable to monetize YouTube in that way because I am a Twitch partner. So those are live stream monetization forms, and you can only get them if you live stream on YouTube, and that would be a breach of contract of my partner contract with Twitch. So my main thing is streaming on Twitch, so stop by, feel free to leave a follow, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. But this is really one of my major passions. I really love doing videos like this. So again, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this type of video, and if you want to see more videos like this from me in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, everybody stay safe out there. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy your time with your families, and make the best of the situation that we're in, and we will get through this. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.